Hi, real quick project share here. I made one of these the other day and I've already shown you that, but I did 3 more, same exact style. Like a couple of changes, like one I didn't use a punch, the other one I used a different punch, and on all of them I used a different pad of paper. But you can see that to me they look totally different because this is more masculine and this is, I think it could be, well, either way. And like this is more for a kid or somebody who really likes music. And this one's flowery. Like this one has this decorative punch. And this one has more like a scallop type punch. If you can see that. And this one has, same thing. And this one has no decorative punch at all. I just left it straight. On all of them, I cut all the pieces exactly the same. And then I cut off my decorative pieces. On all of them, I rounded the corners. And I know some of them seem kind of loud and in your face. But once you add photos, it really, let me take that away, kind of hard. It really makes it not so loud. And you got to remember that, because if you really tone it down, then it might not pop later. This was originally a 4x6 photo that I just cut down. I had multiple from years ago that I used them as my Christmas cards. And like for this, on the inside, well, hopefully you'd have it going this way, but it doesn't really matter. And then I just size it to where it just matches right there. I literally cut it to just under a 3x4. And again, same photo. You just cut it to what you need and what will look right. I mean, heck, that even fits there if you really wanted to put something there. So I'm going to go ahead and start the tutorial part of this so that you can make one yourself. Alright, let's get this started. You will need a scoreboard, and, well, I'm using black cardstock. It's the one that I prefer for everything. It will be cut at 6x12. You will score at 4 3/8 by 4 7/8 and 4 7/8, 9 1/4 and 9 3/4. And then you are going to fold on each one of those score lines. And I butt mine up against the top just because I want my edges flush and square. And that just makes it easier for me. Okay. Now I see the score line. Okay, because if you don't, then I don't know if you can see that, it could end up all wonky. And I don't want that, so I always butt up the top. Okay, so alrighty, so then what you have here is your outside. This is going to be your booklet. So now we're going to make the flaps and the pockets. So the next you'll need a 3x7 scored at 1/2 inch on 3 sides. So I'm going to score at 1/2 inch here, flip it, 1/2 inch, flip it, 1/2 inch. And then I'm going to fold on those score lines. And make sure that these really fold, because when you're going to make your pockets, you don't want that to be in the way. And then here in this corner, we are going to, I don't know if you can see that, you're going to literally go right across that. Don't go into that, but right across it. Hopefully I can get the lighting a little bit better. I want to make sure you can see that. So I'm literally taking my scissors, going right across what looks like an X. And that's it. So that way, when you fold it, you don't have all that extra bulk there. Alrighty, and then the next one is 5 3/8 by 3 inches, scored at 1/2 inch on 3 sides again. Because it's going to be another pocket. And same thing on that corner. You want to just go right across that X, right down the center of it. There's another pocket. This is going to be your top flap. It is 6.5 by 4 3/8, and you're going to score it at the 6 inch mark. That's it. And these are going to be like 2 photo mat booklets. They're going to be at 6 1/4 by 4 1/8, and on the 6 inch side, you're going to score it at 3 1/8. Now for this one, I actually stick in the corner because I want everything to match up. Top, bottom, left, right, you name it. So, and that way you don't have corners overhanging each other. They're nice and flush. Same thing here. You need 2 of those. So let's get those into the corner. Flush, flush, flush. Okay, and I also, real quick, I like to round my corners. So I have this big envelope punch. I mean, I don't think it's really that big, but, and I just round my corners. Well, one, because I think these slide into pockets a lot easier when the corners are rounded. But also, this top flap, we're going to go round them here. Not on the folded edge. You leave that side alone. And you could do it after it's put together. That's an option also, so that way you don't accidentally cut something you're not supposed to. So here is the actual booklet, and I'm only going to round 4 of the corners, and they are the outside corners. Not well folded, well open. Oop, that didn't do right. Let's get back in there. That's better. Still seems kind of off. What is the dealio? Alrighty. So now we have these 2 pockets. You can leave them to where they're just completely straight, or you can take a decorative punch, and I'll take this one. So what I'm going to do is take my ruler and a pencil, and I am measuring from score line to score line, and I'm centering it. So they should be literally on the 3 inch mark on both sides here. I don't know if you can see that. And I'm gonna put a little mark there on my paper, so it lets me know where I need to line it up. And on this, it actually has a mark right here Sorry, it's been a while. It's been hiding in storage for a long time, so what I'm going to do, it's kind of hard to see, is line up that tick mark and that mark I just made. And that's where I'm going to press. So that way when you go to do your decorative paper, again, you're going to center it on the ruler. It'll probably be hitting more the 2 7/8 inch mark. And then you're going to mark your center mark there. If you have issues, just let me know. I can make a video showing that part. And then I just cut off. It doesn't really need to be at an angle anymore at this point. And then that's going to be a little pocket. So put that aside, and I'm going to do the same thing to this one. I'm going to center it on the score lines. Where am I here? So it's just a little over 2 1/8 inch on each side. And then I'm going to take my pencil and mark here at the 0. And I'm also doing it just over at an inch down, because I think that's the best placement, so that way it kind of lines up on the other end. When it's fully in, you still have a little bit of play there. So that way, no matter what kind of punch you're using, you won't lose that little tick mark. Or you could also just stick it in here and line it up this way. On this one, it's actually pretty easy because it literally falls in between one of those, I guess almost like a wave, or I'm not quite sure. So you could also do it that way, depending on your punch. Alrighty, all right. So now we are going to take our booklets. Okay, this folds this way. Alrighty. So then we're going to take, we're open this way, and what we're going to do is we're going to glue this down right here. So I'm just going to turn it so it's easier for me to glue it down. What do I do with my glue? I'm a liquid glue kind of gal. Liquid glue is forever. It's once it dries, you're not getting it apart unless you're ruining your project. So, but then you don't have to worry about it falling apart either. So there's that. Where did I go? Okay. So I got my glue on my 3 flaps, and I'm going to line up right there. You can see the score line. You're not directly on it, you're just next to it. And then you burnish, burnish, burnish. You want the glue and the paper to become one. And you can see right there, you can actually see the score line, but barely. And I don't worry about this writing on here, because eventually you're not going to see that. It's going to be covered up with pretty paper. All right, for this other one, it's going to go, the pocket's going to go right here. And don't worry that like this right here is kind of showing in an odd spot, because once you stick decorative paper in there, you're not going to see that. Alrighty, so same thing. Put your glue on your 3 flaps. And make sure they're centered on those in between these inside score lines here. I don't think I folded. Did I do that right? Yep. Alrighty. And then for your top flap, it's going to go right here. And you just want to make sure it doesn't go below. So you're just going to put it flush up against the very, very top. I think I'm going to have to do this in a different color. Oop. Actually, you can angle these just a tad. Okay. That's it. You now have a little album. You got to do is decorate it. Oh, and don't forget to, and I try to do it now because if I don't do it now, I'm going to forget later. The first one I did, I already messed up, so I'm going to do it right now. I'm going to add my magnet. So I fold this completely square. And then I mark my pencil mark. So you need to go somewhere in between this pencil mark and here. So I'm going to put it, there's good for me. Try to center it. If not, that's okay. It's not that big of a deal. So let me fold these. Make sure they're super folded so they can easily move. Why am I? Okay. So where did I put that? A little bit more tape over that, and then I'm going to add, just going to take that magnet and drop it. And then I'm going to add a little bit of score tape right on top of that. Okay, so make sure it's fully square on all sides, and then you press, and now you have a magnet there. So now you can go ahead and decorate. You don't have to worry about forgetting to put the magnet. It's already there, and you're good to go. Go ahead and decorate. Alrighty, real quick so we can go ahead and do the paper punch. I always use a sample piece to do it. So what I'm going to do is I'm always going to make sure it measures correctly this way across. So this is going to be 4 1/8 because this is 4. It's 4 3/8. So 4 1/4. My bad. So I'm going to cut that at 4 1/4. And then I'm going to put it into my paper punch. Centered. That's all I'm going to cut for now. That's all I'm going to punch. You set it right here. You make sure there's as much of a border as you see fit. I would try to have it 1/8 of an inch. Did I do that correctly? Okay, it goes this way. So, and then you can kind of mark right here where you think it should be. And then you can measure it. So your paper needs to be 2 3/8 inches high. So I have one, not that one. I have one here, which is 2 3/8 inches high. And I'm going to go ahead and punch it. Again, center. I do prefer to measure, but for video's sake, to make it a little bit faster. And then it fits right there, nice and perfect. Alrighty, thanks for watching.